What do you think of the fact that A Link to the Past might get a 3DS remake?
Didn't they already release the Four Swords for the 3DS library? I mean, not as a 3DS game, but they came as a free content in celebration of Zelda's 25 years. But I don't know. Well, I don't see the point in having a port of Zelda A Link to the Past for the 3DS because for one, that was never intended to be a 3D game to begin with. And you can already play it on the Wii, so I don't really see a point to it. And plus, there's the Four Swords games, which they're pretty much a Link to the Past, only slightly different. It's kind of a remake. So, I don't know if they want to do it. That's up to them. I don't really have too much to say about that, but whatever.
As you can probably tell for the way that I am dressed and the previous comment about the Neon Genesis part, is that it's been quite a while since I've gotten to working on this Q&A again. So, let's get on back with the questions. Who is your favorite Zelda sidekick? Midna, Navi, Fi, etc.? Yes, the Zelda sidekicks for Link. Very interesting question. I've always had a very interesting thought about each one of the sidekicks. For one thing, I never really got why. Well, I guess I kind of understand, but why so many people thought Navi was very annoying. I didn't think she was really that bad. I mean, sure, when her, like, hey comes up, you don't have to, like, look at it if you don't want to. So then you don't have to hear that constant, hey, listen, hey, listen, hey, listen. As a character overall, I thought Navi was a very modest, intellectual type of fairy. She would just state the facts at how it is and would try to be as helpful as she can to help Link along his journey. Overall, she was an okay companion, but the only thing that she's really noted for is her constant, hey, listen, hey, listen. Well, might as well talk about each one of the sidekicks. So next, let's talk about Selah from the Phantom Hourglass. As a companion, I felt that she was, okay. I mean, yeah, she is the spirit of courage, which is very nice and all, but as for a characteristic of having amnesia due to her splitting herself into three separate beings, or was it two, in order to prevent Bellum, I believe was the villain's name, from trapping her, she wasn't all that interesting, really. I didn't really get too much from her, although I did get a lot from another person that I believe could be considered a sidekick, Linebeck. Or is it Lineback? No, Linebeck. He was a very interesting character because he was unlike any of the other sidekicks that have ever shown before. Some of you might not really think of Linebeck as a sidekick, but I could kind of see it. Sure, he didn't really have too much of a purpose in the in-game mechanics, like he didn't help Link in any of the fighting sequences, but he was a very important character in the Phantom Hourglass game. And I just loved his personality, that he, like, was all showboating, saying, like, how great he was, but deep down inside, he's just a little bit of a coward hiding away from a woman that's trying to kill him. Love's a funny thing. But yeah, I liked Linebeck a lot better than I did Ciela. Let's next talk about both Eslo from the Minish Cap and the King of Red Lions from Wind Waker. Both of these characters, I believe, are very similar in their aspects, both of them being wise old leaders in their time, cursed into these deformed, inanimate shapes. Eslo being turned into a hat, and the King of Red Lions taking the form of a ship. And we learn throughout the course of the time about a little bit more of their history and finding that they feel regret for what they had unleashed in the past. The King of Red Lions feeling regret for not being able to protect his land of Hyrule against the evil forces of Ganon when Link left, and Ezlo for being unable to fight off against his own prodigy, his own what's the word I'm looking for here, Nick? His own
Like understudy?
understudy. Yes, his own understudy, and not being able to take Vati away from the forces of darkness. Both of these characters show regret in that aspect, which I believe makes them very sympathetic as a character. And I liked Eslo for being kind of the grumpy old man type of character, and I liked the King of Lions for being a little bit of a kind of Falcor from the Neverending Story type of character, kind of the wise old sage that was very pleasant to be around, I thought. Here's another sidekick that not too many people might think of, the Owl from Link's Awakening. Not to be confused with Capygoro from the Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. What's very interesting about the Owl in that, like Linebeck, he didn't really play too much of a role in the supporting Link. He mostly, just like Capygoro, came flying in, gave Link some advice as to where to go, and was generally concerned about what was going to be happening with the Windfish. There's not really much to say about the Owl from Link's Awakening because we don't really get that much time to really explore his character, and there's a lot of theories behind it, but hey, you can theorize all you want, but either way, it's all just a dream. Next, let's talk about Princess Zelda from the Spirit Tracks games. This is the first game in the entire series that I can remember where Zelda actually played a role in helping out Link. Yes, of course, she's helped out in the shadows before as Sheik, or has helped him get from point A to point B as Tetra from Wind Waker, but this is the first time that she's actually able to help with the puzzles, with fighting off like some of the minor enemies, and not always like fighting off Ganon at the end like she does in a lot of the games. But I really liked Spirit Tracks because it was the first time that I really felt that there was some sort of love connection, kind of like a dynamics between her and Link. And it really excited me. And of course we would see a lot more of this like develop further in Skyward Sword. But this is the first time that this happened, and because of that I really enjoyed the Zelda from the Spirit Tracks games. Now before we go on to some of my all-time favorite sidekicks from the Zelda franchise, I want to go with first talking about the one Zelda character that I personally found very, very annoying. And I know that some people like this character, but I'm sorry, but Fi from Skyward Sword is just annoying. Now let's think about this for a moment. We go from Twilight Princess and having one of the most influential, one of the most interesting and dynamic characters of Midna as a sidekick, and then we go to this robotic, unemotional spirit of the Master Sword. And like when she like first appeared in the game, I was like all like entranced by like the mystery behind it all, following her through the town after dark. But after that, she kind of really wore off from there. And I have to say it definitely was the fact that she would constantly repeat everything that was said beforehand. Like, say, like, one of the dragons, like, told you about where to go from where you are now. Like, you need to go over there. Right after that, Fi would then chime in and saying, Master, I believe that we need to go to point A, and I believe there's a 75% chance that we might need to equip more shields or something like that. And she would do this constantly. It's like, yes, thank you, Fi. I got that. Oh, yes, I got that too, Fi. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Miss Obvious. Although I don't think that she was too bad because I did like the fact that if you hadn't played the game in like a while, Fee had this nifty ability of having a different list of options where you could like ask her for hints, what kind of rumors have been going out around the area. And I felt that that was helpful and that you could like pick up the game no matter how long it's been since you played it. Wouldn't you agree, NPC?
I guess.
He guesses. But I couldn't get emotionally invested into a character that didn't have that much emotion with her to begin with. Having a character that doesn't show emotion is a very hard thing to accomplish. And the best example that I can think of is, well, Robocop, for one thing, being the master of being a very sympathetic character without showing that much emotion. It's about the subtlety of the emotion. There is emotion there, but it's very subtle. And unfortunately for Fee, her emotion was too subtle. I couldn't get emotionally involved with her, and during the parting scene, I didn't have any feelings for it. It's like, oh yeah, thanks Fee for helping me on this journey. Yep, you have a good rest now in that Master Sword there. So yeah, I couldn't really get invested into Fee. And now for my two favorite Zelda sidekick characters, and it's kind of a tie between the two. It's a tie between Midna from Twilight Princess and Tattle from Majora's Mask. Both of these characters are very similar in their personalities. They're very kind of, I want to say condescending individuals, although that might not be the right way of saying it. They're the type of characters that, I guess you could say they're kind of tsundere type personalities, in that they say like mean and nasty things to you, insult you, but deep down they really care about you. And that's what really made these two characters very dynamic. Tattle, for being the fact that she at first was trying to help the Skull Kid rob your stuff, but over time I really got to liking her personality. In that, like Navi, she had the same voice actress as her, but her take on any situation, she always intersected her own personal opinions on things. Like say you were taking a look at a enemy, and she'd say, "Ah, yeah, this little ugly thing. I don't know what the hell it's about, but you better watch out for that sword there." And of course, everybody is a big fan of Midna, and I am too. I really enjoyed like all the different hardships and trial that she had to go through. She was a status of royalty, and it isn't the first time that a royal figure has been a sidekick to Link, but this one is different because she was cast down by her own subjects and forced into this imp-like form. Very reminiscent to Majora's Mask, I like to think, in the idea behind cafe. But that's entirely... No, I could still see that. So yeah, my two favorites are Tattle from Majora's Mask and Midna from Twilight Princess.